At the end of your run, how might you define the legacy that you want to leave behind?
Wow, that's a big question. I have to think about that. But for me, I just I feel very fortunate to have a job I love and a place I love living. And that's what I would ask for anybody. If you go out, find a place you want to live and love what you're doing. And it's cliche, but if you have a job you love, you never have to really work another day of your life.
True.
And I never have any trouble getting out of bed in the morning because I love what I do. And I hope my legacy is that I helped make a difference for people.
Welcome to the Cooler Lifestyle Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Kuehlhorn, and I'm excited to have you join me as I interview community members and business leaders from the communities in which I live, work, and serve through my business Cooler Garage Doors. We're going to bring you highlights on characters in our communities. Why? Because community matters, and I want to know more about who is behind our business and leadership in order to understand and support the community fabric that our relationships make up. And collectively, we can build stronger communities that support our lifestyles, our youth, and our health.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cooler Lifestyle Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Kuehlhorn, and today I am joined by Gary Pierson, who I've known for, Gary, now it's probably a couple of decades. As I'm an alumni of Western Colorado University, and Gary, you are the Dean of Students. I'm really excited to get into a conversation with you.
Well, thanks, Matt. I really appreciate the opportunity, and it's a real honor for me to be asked to participate in this. But I clearly remember you as a student at Western, transferred here, I think, right?
That's right.
And I got you involved in our strategic planning process, and you came to these early 8 o'clock in the morning meetings. So I was impressed with you from the get-go that you had that kind of work ethic.
That's right. I came out on CBMR's second to last year of running their student work program in 97 and used that year to get my residency so that I could transfer and have in-state tuition in 1998. So that's cool. Where did you grow up, Gary?
Well, I grew up in Lamar, Colorado. That's southeast Colorado. It's 30 miles from the Kansas border. Grew up on a farm and ranch, and that's my humble beginnings. I didn't really know anything different growing up in southeast Colorado. I never got to the mountains until I was 18 or 19. I mean, we did a few trips as a family, but I didn't really know what the mountains were about until I went to college.
Gotcha.
And, my background is being in the outdoors, albeit it was in the flatlands of Colorado, but had a real appreciation for, being outside. A lot of my time growing up was helping my dad on the farm and ranch. And, that's where I really got a lot of my work ethic and, my interest for the outdoors.
Yeah, love it. So you mentioned college was up in the mountains. Where'd you attend college?
Well, I don't tell too many people this, but I went to Adams State in Alamosa, and I got a great education and experience there. But I took my first class in skiing at Adams State, and I skied at Wolf Creek, and so I did my undergraduate and my graduate program at Adams. And through my graduate program, I found out that there's opportunities to work in higher education. I didn't really know what I was going to do. I got my master's in counseling, and I found out that there's opportunities to work in higher education. And so through that master's program, I got my first job in Quincy, Illinois. I was a resident hall director at Quincy College, which is now Quincy University. It's 2 hours north of St. Louis. And got some opportunities there. I advanced to the director of student activities and assistant dean of students. And so that's where I really knew and learned that I wanted to stay in higher education, albeit I didn't want to live in the Midwest. And from Quincy, I went to Pittsburgh State in Pittsburgh, Kansas, and I worked at Kansas State in Manhattan, Kansas, and was always trying to get myself back to Colorado and couldn't find the opportunity. And so I ended up going to Portland, Oregon, and worked at Portland State. So you see a lot of states in this theme here, and came back in 1996. I was director of admissions at Adams State, my alma mater. And then in 1998, a position came open at Western for director of campus life, which was Western State Colorado University at the time.
Yeah.
But surprisingly enough, I'd never been to Gunnison growing up in Colorado throughout my life, and then being in the Midwest for 14 or 15 years. And I feel like I was, doing my penance by living in the Midwest for that long. But had the opportunity to come to Gunnison for my job interview. And I knew right away, like many people do, you come to the Gunnison Valley and this place speaks to you. And I knew right away this is where I wanted to be, and just feel very fortunate and blessed that I got the job offer and got the opportunity to come to Western in 1998. And from there, I was promoted to Associate Vice President of Student Affairs, and then Vice President for Student Affairs and Dean of Students. And my current title, 25 years, this is my 25th year at Western, I'm Dean of Students.
That's awesome. I didn't realize that we were both new in 1998. I thought you had already been there for a while.
Yeah, no, that was my first year.
Gotcha. Cool. What does it mean to you to be Dean of Students?
Well, plain and simple, my job is to help students succeed at Western and to really take care of students. There's lots of aspects and facets of that, and I have a great team of people that I work with to help make that happen. In my reporting area, I have residence life, campus recreation, our leadership and engagement and development office, multicultural center, campus security, medical and mental health. All those people report up through my area, and our job is to support the academic mission of Western. But primarily, we support students outside the classroom, and we have lots of touch points with those students. But, in essence, my job is to take care of students and help ensure their overall health and wellness and their success as they progress towards their degree at Western.
I love it. Love it. In our chat prior to hitting record, you had mentioned being up on the third floor of Taylor, which maybe removes you a little bit from some of that student interaction. But I would also imagine that would fuel you in your efforts quite a bit. So are you a wanderer? Do you walk around campus? How do you get that student interaction?
Well, that's exactly what I do. I'm in my office when I have appointments, of course, and I go to lots of meetings, but intentionally I go to the field house, I go to the university center. I really pride myself on being at student activities and events. What makes this job doable for me and what makes it so exciting is the opportunity to interact and work with Western students. I really, truly love the people at Western, the faculty, the staff, and the students. But what gets me out of bed every day is that I know that I can make a difference for students at Western. And it's just a privilege to get to know and work with Western students, much like I got to meet you. And now I see you and the success that you've had in your life and your career. And I want to think I played a small part in that, albeit relatively small, but just knowing that I can help make a difference for people and that I can help people, that's really truly what my job is about. And, as an administrator and serving on the president's cabinet, that allows me to be an advocate for students at a senior leadership level, albeit at some meetings that I don't really always enjoy sitting in. But, I can help students by having a voice for them at a senior level leadership.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. And your passion definitely exudes from you. Um, I want to dive into Western Colorado University a little bit. And, in my 20 plus years, I think I technically graduated in 2001 with outdoor leadership and um, education focus. And I definitely credit Western giving me a ton, really, a lot of hard skills, a lot of soft skills. And, just being in this community, I've watched a lot of changes over the last 20 years. There's been branding, there's been naming, there's now a new president. Where do we want to go? There's a new field and complex going in. So a lot of changes. And how has that either impacted or been impacted by the culture at Western that you've been a part of over the last 25 years?
No. Well, it's an exciting time to be at Western. We've got a lot of new initiatives and a lot of opportunity ahead of us, but conversely, we have lots of challenges too, and I can talk a little bit more about that. But I'm really excited about the trajectory that Western's on right now, primarily because of just who we are as an institution and what we've always stood for. I mean, we are all about helping transform lives, and I see that happen all the time. And again, that's what gets me motivated, is that you see students come in as freshmen and watch them leave 4 or 5 years later, and their lives are changed in ways that are just amazing for me to watch. But
Right.
That takes a lot of work and effort on many people's part to make that happen. But it's just really who we are as an institution organically. We care about students and student success. And once students find their place here in the community, and we talk a lot about the secret sauce of Western, and ultimately it's the people at Western that make this place shine. It's our faculty, staff, students, which I've referenced earlier. But that takes some nurturing and it takes some support. And, we went through various periods of leadership through Jay Hellman, through Greg Salisbury, and now Brad Baca. And I've been really encouraged with Brad as our new president and the leadership he's providing for Western. I think he's helping us get back to the culture of Western that makes this place shine. And it's hard not to be attracted to that when people come to the Gunnison Valley and they see our campus and they see our location, and then they hear about some of the real innovative programs we're doing. We have the partnership with CE Boulder with our Rady School of Mechanical Engineering and Computer Science. And the success we're seeing, this is our first cohort that's going to be graduating this spring of 2023 with the CE Boulder program. And we've seen, our incoming class that year was maybe 32 students. And I'm talking ballpark here, not exact numbers, but I think this last year we had close to 70 students coming in as part of that program. And so there's partnerships with that Rady program with Blister Lab and our tourism and prosperity project that are helping advance the needle and creating interest and excitement around Western and that School of Engineering and Computer Science. As you referenced, we have a new football field stadium being built. And again, both Rady School and the stadium were direct beneficiaries of Paul Rady and his generosity to Western, but he's a Western alum, and this place changed his life, much like what I've referenced to you earlier. He was an average high school student and came to Western and had faculty that were really instrumental in his success leading Western. And because of that experience, he has intentionally chosen to give back to Western close to $100 million. So that in and of itself speaks to the kind of success that our Western students see, but more importantly, to the loyalty that they have to this place. We have new academic programs coming in. We have a 3+2 programs where students can leave Western with a master's degree in 5 years. And I think we have 7 or 8 of those programs now. One of being is an outdoor retail MBA program, which again has shown a lot of success and a lot of traction here at Western. And so, there's this, culmination of a lot of things coming together that are going to, certainly require strong leadership. But it just feels like we're in a place where we can make a difference in the bottom line for us. And that is all around enrollment. That's around, recruitment and retention and helping us grow as an institution.
I love it. There's a lot of things to be excited for.
Oh yeah. This is as I said, a great time to be at Western. New opportunities for us in terms of leadership we're bringing in. I think I mentioned to you prior to this conversation, we have a new vice president for inclusivity we're hiring. And, I think that's important, that while we tend to certainly attract students that are coming to Colorado because they're coming to Western because of our location and because of the outdoors, we also want to diversify and make sure that there's equity and inclusion and a sense of belonging for all students on the Western campus. And so this was an intentional decision to hire a senior cabinet level member to keep our eye on the ball around diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I think that's an important step for Western as we move forward.
Yeah, I get that. When it comes to, where Western's located, Gunnison County and the community, how does and where might community, whether it's businesses or other organizations, get involved or interact with the student population to help anchor in that student's sense of community, right? Like I would imagine that's a part of it. Like there's a campus community, and I've heard it said a few times before, like we have a college in our town. Some people feel like it's not necessarily a college town, and some people like that. Some people would want more of the college influence, whether it's for everybody to get excited on game day or any of the other events that the college puts on. But where do you see the opportunity for, the greater community to really help engage students and become even more part of Western Colorado University's community?
Well, great question, and a lot of thoughts on that. But, where I'd want to start, and I admittedly am biased, but I think Western is at the cornerstone of the growth and the resiliency and the vibrancy of the Gunnison Valley. We're one of the major employers, but, if we didn't have a university in the Gunnison Valley, this place would look a lot different.
I agree.
And bringing that energy in with students and with faculty and staff, and for the educational opportunities that it provides for the whole community, that's hard to replicate. There's many mountain towns that can't say they have a university right out their back door to take advantage of. And so we definitely want to contribute to the betterment of the Gunnison Valley, and we want to be active partners in that. And, that's what I'm encouraged by with President Baca. I think he's actively reaching out to leaders in the Gunnison Valley to let them know what's going on at Western and how they can be part of that. But, it's a give and take relationship. We need to be at the table. We need to contribute, just as we're asking community to contribute to Western. And so I think there's going to be opportunities for that coming forward. We have a major capital campaign that, we're looking for funding and gifts from people throughout the country, not just in the Gunnison Valley, to help make Western better. But again, there's things that we can do to give back. And one of the things that I'm particularly proud of is that we have many of our faculty, staff, community members that are serving on boards that work with nonprofits.
Yeah.
We have 2 days of service that our students go out one in the fall and one in the spring. And they take a day out of their weekend or a day off, like on President's Day weekend, and they go out and serve the local community, by volunteering. And so we've institutionalized that, and I think there's many more opportunities for that. I'd be remiss not to mention our ICE lab here on campus. That's our Innovation, Creativity, and Entrepreneurial Center.
Yeah.
It's been a not long, but it's been an ongoing partnership between Western and the ICE lab, and a lot of support, again, from TAP, which is our Tourism and Prosperity Project, to bring in employers, to bring in industry to the Gunnison Valley, and they base out of the Western campus at the Escalante complex. And so there's great opportunities for students there to get internships, to do things, to learn about what it means to be an entrepreneur. And we've had Western alums that have worked in leadership roles at the ICE lab. And so, really excited about the potential with that experience on campus. I mentioned Blister Gary View before. They've hired lots of Western students for internships that go out and work for them and in marketing positions and write gear reviews. And so excited about that partnership. But, there's all kinds of opportunities for Western students to be part of our community through service, through internships, through just providing labor for restaurants, for the school district, for coaching youth leagues. And so, I always feel like we can do better in terms of making Gunnison more of a university community. I don't know that I've got the answer to that quite yet, but I know that Western's an integral part of Gunnison and vice versa. Gunnison's an integral part of Western, and how we go ahead and really, mobilize that and operationalize it. I think there's room for growth there, but I'm just excited for the kind of leadership that we have in this valley. And what's been particularly rewarding for me and noticeable is that we have lots of alums that are coming back to the valley and providing that kind of leadership, you being one of them. You never really left, but
yeah, I tried.
There's Sam Egenhard with Campfire Ranch. He's been exemplary, and he graduated from Western and left and worked for Red Bull and has come back to the Gunnison Valley and started this entrepreneurial adventure through his support through the ICE lab. And this guy's going to be somebody who's going to make a big mark in the world of outdoor recreation through his Campfire Ranch endeavor.
Yeah.
And so, again, there's just this younger group, late 20s to early 30s, that are coming back to the Gunnison Valley and providing the leadership we're going to need over the next 20 to 30 years to keep moving the needle forward for us.
Love it. All right, Gary, this question is off script, but I'm curious. You've been at your place for 25 years and, hopefully many, many, many more years to come, because I think you bring an amazing amount of passion, and it just exudes that you're rooting for the student, right? And that personal transformation. At the end of your run, how might you define the legacy that you want to leave behind?
Wow, that's a big question. I have to think about that. But, I feel very fortunate to have a job I love and a place I love living. And, that's what I would ask for anybody. If you go out, find a place you want to live and love what you're doing. And, it's cliche, but, if you have a job you love, you never have to really work another day of your life.
True.
And, I never have any trouble getting out of bed in the morning because I love what I do. And, I hope my legacy is that, I helped make a difference for people. I deal, as you can well imagine, as dean of students, with some challenging student issues and working with faculty and staff. But at the end of the day, I just really want to help people. And that takes a lot of different shapes and forms. It's maybe helping them academically, helping them financially, helping them with their mental health, their medical health, helping them make a connection in the community. And I just really, really want to know in my heart of hearts that I've made a difference for people in their lives. And so that in a nutshell is what I would say. And the other part for me, which is huge, is that, I have a family here, and because of the work I do at Western, my wife and my daughter Lily, my wife Shelley and my daughter Lily and my son Jack, they've had to make a lot of sacrifices because I tend to get pulled in a lot of different directions because of my work. But I also really value recreation, and that's more about my mental health. If I couldn't mountain bike and ski, I don't know that I could really do my job. That's what motivates me, is that I get outside and I get to take care of myself. And I'm not going to tell you I don't have fun doing it, man. I love mountain biking and I love skiing powder. But I've come more and more to really recognize and appreciate that my effectiveness as a person and who I am as a leader is directly impacted by what I can do in the outdoors. And it just makes a difference for me. And I know that's why a lot of people are here in the Gunnison Valley. And trying to balance that, get a little emotional, but it's not easy to do. But again, I just feel really blessed that I have a supportive family, that I've got people that care about me, that work with me, and it gives me the motivation and energy to do what I do best, and that's help people.
Love that, man. It's beautiful. How might people reach out to you if they want to help you help people?
Well, I give everybody my cell number. My wife cringes at that, but I take calls and text messages any time of the day or night as I can. And my cell number is 970-596-0533. It's 970-596-0533. G. Pierson at western.edu. I think one of my other strengths, as I talked about earlier, is helping connect people. And, if there's opportunities for students, faculty, and staff, I want to know about it. And, I really appreciate the opportunity to help make things happen, either in and out of the classroom for members of our community.
Gary, thank you so much for this conversation. And, truly thank you for bringing your heart into your work.
Well, thank you. Again, I'm really humbled. I just feel like I'm a really lucky guy to have Western in my life and to have the people in my life that I do. I mean, I couldn't have asked for anything more. And, it's, as I said, it's been 25 years and it's went by like a blink of an eye. I can't say that when I was working in the Midwest. It seems like I was there for a lot longer than I wanted to be, for sure. But, through my experience, I had to pay my dues, I think. And because of that, it created opportunities for me here at Western that I've been able to capitalize on.
Yeah. Well, I think that sense of fortunate definitely goes both ways. The community in Western is fortunate to have you. And, I don't feel like we see enough of each other, but I'm looking forward to the next time we run in together in real life. And, for now, we'll put a wrap on this conversation. And again, thank you. Really appreciate you.
Well, thanks, Matt. Appreciate you as well.